really need. May mga, of course, younger generation naman that will take over. And it's always nice to hear from the OG, di ba, yung term na mga kabataan yan. Siya talaga yung isa sa mga nauna. And he's an academician, meaning yung level niya towards contribution to the community, especially in the academic side. Ganun nakataas. I don't know if he'll be awarded. I don't know if he'll be awarded as a national scientist or ganung level. I'm not sure if may ganung, kasi ino-nominate ka doon and presidente yung mag-ano sa point. So I'm not sure. Pero he's an academician. At kung more interested by plus as well as the possible application in different fields. Weird na saan at sa ating galing seaweeds. Yeah, seaweeds class. We are major contributor din ng seaweeds. Kaya, I got connected with Dr. Coke kasi I went to Leyte and they have a project there about seaweed but more on ang gumagawa mga engineering people. They post-processing sila. And then, nung dumating ako doon, my wife, nagkausap, I'm from biology, ganon. So, actually, sinamahan ko lang yung wife ko. And then, oh, you're actually working with seaweed. Tapos ako from biology. Maybe you can have another research or another topic related to seaweed. So doon na nag-start na talks about seaweed. So, ang gagawin namin na yung topic ko with the seaweed is about biosensors. So if you want to work with biosensors on determining the stress about seaweeds, if you want to do your thesis with that, maybe we can work about working with seaweeds and biosensors. The sensors, ang aking graduate student, for example, si Yoki, gumagawa ng biosensor for nitrogen response. So malalaman ng plants na meron siyang problem with nitrogen even before showing the symptoms. So that's what we're trying to achieve din sa seaweed. So magsa-start pa lang. So medyo at the very, sobrang magsa-start pa lang yung concept. So hindi pa talagang well laid. It will be the first, for sure. Yeah, if you want to work with that seaweeds. Ang dami niyo namang sinasabi. Wait, babasahin ko lang. I mean, ang dami niyong message. Very good. Petroleum-based plastics are inevitable to be eradicated with responsible. Oh, di ba? Saya. Limited because of solubility of plastics. We went to Leyte last year with Miss Yoki, yung nag-facilitate ng ano. So, quick monitoring kami ng dagat kasi pag nakita mo yung mga farmers, they're really worried kasi they used to produce a lot of seaweeds per year pero biglang nag-die down kasi hindi na tumutubo yung seaweeds nila. And you know what they're saying? Sir, simula po ng lumindol sa Bohol, yung seaweed po namin dito sa Leyte nasira. Parang ganon. And then di na daw nakabawi. Sabi ko, anong kinalaman ng lindol sa Bohol and then sa Leyte? So kind of interesting, really interesting topic then. So yung mga bioplastics is one of the applications of seaweeds. Ibig sabihin, class, if we can like ma-increase natin yung production ng seaweeds, and yung iba kasi dyan, di ba, for processing, for post-processing, and for bioplastics. So mas dadami yung production, mas marami din yung ating application. Di ba? Because tingnan, dami yung sinasabi dito. Ang hirap to magpasa. Parang napilitan tuloy kayo magsulat. I was really intrigued when he mentioned the fact that there are seaweeds that are using toothpaste. Ano? Yes, Isabella. Magugulat kayo no, sa mga applications ng seaweeds. First encounter ko of application ng seaweed na it was really like, pwede pala to, toothpick sa Korea. When I was in Korea sa table ng mga, sa student cafeteria, green yung toothpick. Sabi ko, ano to? Bakit green yung toothpick? Ano to? Plastic? Sabi niya, seaweed yan. Sa ginawang toothpick sa one of the applications. So if you keep it to your mouth for some time, nagiging soft. So yun na yung ginagamit as straw. Ngayon, it's difficult to invest in focusing on state economies. But... yung survey pala nakita namin doon sa Leyte back then, yung quick surveys sa tubig, water parameters, it became very salty. So tumaas yung alat ng tubig. And the variety that they were using for culture is hindi siya ganun kaganda tumubo sa salty water. Super elevated amount of salty water. Collagen, fish scales, bones, skins. Oh, ayan, lack of support from the government class. So, isa yan sa mga kailangan tingnan. If you're biology, but if you want to work on the policy related aspect, kailangan yung tingnan yung part na yan. Amazing, sabi ni Offrey. Amazing makinig, di ba, sa mga may experiences sa isang topic na sobrang tagal na. What? Really? And then Caitlin says, I guys know how to see this actually. Well, plastic waste was concrete, road waste. Kasi di ba marami, yun nga, problema natin sa plastic talaga. Sabi ni Sabrina, oo nga. People were concerned. Eh kasi nakakatawa naman yung idea, oh, this is edible pala. Ganun. So there are parts in our environment, especially if you're a biology, we really need to widen our imagination sa kingdoms of life, right? Or domain na tayo and the applications of this organisms surrounding us. Magugulat na lang tayo na, ay, ganun pala. Like, for example, you are into animals kasi medbio ka. So usually zoology related, di ba? And then yung iba naman nasa plant. So more on plants lang, and then magugulat ka. But if you go to conferences, pag hahalu-haluin mo, magugulat ka sa mga applications ng mga topics, which is like super amazing. Ang dami palang options. And again, we always have to consider that at in the end, ano ba yung target natin to be able to contribute sa pollution, reduce the pollution or economy ng Pilipinas or livelihood or you know, reduce poverty. So kasama yan. Plus, are you familiar with the SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, yung ilang numbers na yon? Are you familiar with the term SDGs? I think it's just 17, right? Okay. So tandaan nyo lagi yan ha. In whatever you do, whatever topic, or if you're reading something, if you do a thesis or any type of reaction paper or whatever, always go back to the SDG and saan nyo ma-associate yung sinasabi nyo na solution to a problem or whatever. But marine research from the Philippines is creates technologies like MyPlus, but despite all these research, investors, Jasper, that's right. Ang maganda sa ibang countries is that once you have the technology, you sell it to a company, and then kasi may mga pera sila, and then they commercialize that right away. Sa atin, medyo limited tayo basically sa taong may pera. Imagine niyo na lang class, yung idea ng jeepney modernization, right? Yung tatanggalin yung makinang petrol, papalitan ng electric. And then ang sagot is mag-i-import ng electric cars from let's say China or India. 'Di ba? Why not the Pilipinong gumawa? Bakit kailangan mag-import? So yun, basically yun yung mindset kumuha sa labas, tapos mag-import. Despite all these technologies, and malaking part talaga doon class, yung support from the government. Kasi at some point, if you're doing this out of your own money, there's a big chance you're risking it for your country and then you get nothing in return. So, ang alam kong approach dyan, talagang may support dapat from the government. Kasi ako, for example, I'm a businessman, gagawin ko to pero this will help a lot of people pero pag hindi to nag-succeed, ako lang din yung masisira. 'Di ba? Parang so the government has different ways of supporting naman like tanggalin yung babasan yung tax, yung mga ganon, or may support na bibigay financially. Pero feeling ko kulang tayo sa mayayaman tao nag-invest on that type of thing. Ang alam ko mayayaman is not on investing something na sustainable or nag-generate further. It's more like ang mayayaman natin is nasa mall, ang investments, real estate, mga groceries, commercials, malls, condominiums. Napaka-selfish na dating, pero income yung ano income yung mindset. Anyway, bago pa pala. O, di ba? I'm glad that you uh enjoy Dr. Koch's talk about bioplastic, and kaya pinilit ko talaga na mailagay yon sa 2:30 to 4 kasi mas marami yung audience and maraming biology student na pwedeng makinig. Yan. So, sana maisip niyo rin gawing thesis seaweed. Yun nga lang, problem is if you're going to do thesis with marine specimens, then you really have to go to the dagat. And we go to the dagat means it's not a beach resort. It's a little bit challenging. Masusunog ka. Hindi, not literally, yung skin, araw. Mangingit din. So, sayang naman yung glutathione natin. Tapos papabilad ka lang sa araw. Okay. And balita ko, marami daw nagtanong. Sabi ni Miss Yoki, maraming nagtanong, nakapila, and you guys did magaganda daw yung mga questions. So, yun, natuwa naman po. Or dahil nagtanong kayo, dahil sinabing may incentive pa. Or talaga interested. Kasi interesting naman, di ba? Let's get the point. Chat. Sharing PowerPoint. There you go. May nakikita na bang naka-share? Okay. Let's get the pen. Now, kasama dito ngayon, class, when we talk about bioplastics, syempre, yung ganung level ng conversation, papasok ulit dito yung idea ng mga genes, right? So, papasok ulit yung, well, how do we make the production of bioplastics even more higher in terms of content, or yung structural integrity ng yung polymer na mapoproduce, maganda ba siya, or paano natin makikita yon na mas pwede pang i-improve at the genetic DNA level. So, because of that, pwede nating associate pa rin yung topic ng Friday about bioplastic. Kasi titingnan natin anong organisms maganda yung production ng yung yung ah anti-stem yung tawag doon. Anyway, body ng seaweed, either seaweed, mas more likely seaweed than seagrass, diba? Seaweeds, and then usually what we do is we alter the gene expression at the DNA level para mas mapaganda pa yung output. But before we can do that, we need to study first what's the DNA, what's the DNA structure, and then how do we look at the DNA, and of course how it's organized. Okay, so cloud. So this topic is, I think we're good to go. This topic is about DNA structure, analysis, and sequence organization. Now, the genetic material, we know that the genetic materials is embedded in the DNA, right? And we call it the gene because the gene is the one that's being expressed. It needs to contain 4 characteristics. Okay? Ano kaya yung 4 characteristics na yun? Number 1, it should be able to replicate. Kasi nangyayari ito during mitosis. In the cell division, they'll be separated during mitosis, right? That's why they need to be replicated kasi yung information na yon hindi mo maipapasa sa next generation din through meiosis kung hindi siya ma-replicate. Okay? So the DNA in your intestine, the cells in your intestine, the DNA in your skin, sa paa or sa tuhod or sa mata or sa buhok or sa ulo, pareho lang naman yan ang DNA makeup. It's just that magkakaiba lang sila ng expression ng different genes. And they need to be able to store the information. Okay, that information should be there And dapat andun yun and it should be expressed later on. No? What else? They should be able to be expressed. So replicate, store that information, and express that information. So meron din tayong characteristic ng genetic material na most of the time is just being stored and not even expressed. Doon lang siya nakahold. Hindi siya dapat ine-express, pwede rin ganon. But the potential for it to be expressed is still there. It will be expressed in a specific condition or specific instances. Okay? And the last one will be they undergo they undergo changes through time in the process called mutation. So variation by mutation. So we need to remember this four characteristics of what a genetic material can be, or the behavior of this genetic material. Okay, so we have here the figure. We'll talk about this in a bit. And simply we need to look at this as a central dogma. Back then, we call this a central dogma of molecular biology. I don't know if they're just saying central dogma of biology na lang to ngayon. I've heard about it before, but I don't want to go there. I still want to use it. I still want to use the concept of central dogma of molecular biology. Bakit? Kasi in many organisms, either there is unicellular or multicellular. In the basic unit of life, which is a cell, dito pa rin bumababa at this very level yung expression ng ating traits from the DNA being converted to mRNA in the process called transcription, and your mRNA serving as a template for production of protein in the process called translation. So transcription and translation, you guys need to remember that. Okay, so back in 1944, I think I mentioned this to you before that, protein was the favored material na lagi tinitingnan about who carries the trait. No? Observations favored protein as the genetic material. Way back years before pala ng 1944, Friedrich Miescher isolated cell nuclei and derived an acid substance DNA that, but back then they just call them nuclein. So please remember the term. And in 1910, Phoebus Levine observed that DNA contained this is very interesting. I need you to remember this part. Back then, the observation nila is that cells contain, the DNA contains approximately equal amounts of four similar molecules, and that time they called the tetranucleide hypothesis. Same amount that, for example, we have the A, T, G, and C, right? In this case, in 1910, they say 25% is A, 25% is T, 25% is G, and 25% is C, approximately equal amount. But in 1940, it was Erwin Chargaff showed that Levine's proposal was incorrect. And he demonstrated that most organisms do not contain precisely equal proportion of the four nucleotides. So hindi ibig sabihin 25%, 25%. It can be a mixture of the two, either kung anong region ng DNA ang tinitingnan natin or the whole DNA itself, yung tinatawag nating GC% or 80%. 80 means 80, not the number. But usually, ang laging pinag-uusapan is GC% over 80%. Class, anong question from the class? Anong characteristic ng isang DNA if it has a lot of GC? Anong na-imagine mo sa, let's say, 80% GC? For example, your DNA for blue eyes, so to be expressed, contains a lot of a very high GC%. Let's say it's 80. Common sa PCR, by the way, na what I love about the GC% is around 55 to 60. If I have that, I love it. But above that, I hate it. More, mas mahirap siya. Yes, exactly, class. That is very, very correct, what you're saying. I'm not sure if we use the word stable, Offrey. I think they're all stable. It's just that it's difficult to separate. So si Z then stability. Let's see. Anong term mas maganda? Thermal stability would be nice kasi you need temperature, higher temp to separate them, right? Pero Pag tumaas na masyado yung GC percent, you need higher temp. And the tendency, yeah, I think we can use the word stability kasi DNA should be double-stranded. Dalawa. If you increase the temp, they start to move away from each other, no? But if you put the temperature back down again, usually our denaturation temperature sa PCR is 95. Pag tumaas ka 95, you expect, okay, DNA is separated. Pero pag bumaba ka lang ng konti, they go bond right away. So higher stability means, yeah, they really form stable bond together. So I'm okay with the stability. Offer, you can put your answer sa ano, for everyone. Naka-direct ka. It's a good question. Yeah. Higher energy requirement. Ilagay mo sa public, offer ang inyong question. Yan. Sir, about higher energy requirements, especially to the nature in PCR. Well, we usually use 95 degrees Celsius for initial run. We usually use 10 minutes at 95 degrees. Yun yung run natin. And then we have this cycle of 95, 55 to 60, pero more common. I love the 55. And then this is 72. And this happens like 30 cycles ng paulit-ulit. And then you have your 72 for extension, and then your 4 degrees infinity. So here, yung 95, but in my experience back then, pwede mo namang i-tweak tong 95 eh. It can be 10 minutes. And what I do, if you really have a high GC, you extend that to a higher or longer, like 15 minutes. There's no universal rule naman when you talk about PCR class, you follow the initial suggestion. And then you learn about your DNA na mataas yung GC niya, haba ako yung 95%. Kaya kailangan yung maintindihan yung concept ng yung requirement for PCR. Pwede ko habaan kasi pag ito iniklian ko lang, magbabind ulit yung dalawang bond na yon. Actually, in some sophisticated PCR or mas maarting method, they put additional chemical. I forgot, I never use that kasi tamad ako eh. So, doon lang ako sa time. Extend lang, tatagal pa yung experiment. Dami ko pang steps gagawin. Ang importante, after PCR, na-amplify mo, and then the sequence is correct. Sir, is it possible po kaya sobrang taas ng temp needed to denature DNA na maapektuhan yung bonds, the sugar phosphate backbone? I don't think that's a problem, Mariella, in the concept of PCR. Kasi the 95 degrees, I even tried 97 back then. The is only happens at the nitrogenous bases. And I think the phosphate group connecting the sugar and phosphate, I'm not sure about the number or the amount of temperature needed to break those bonds. Pero I don't think they can be broken easily with that 95 degrees. Kasi yun yung ano niya eh. Yun yung uh, optimum temperature for 95. Maybe you go above 95, let's say 200 degrees. Doon magde-denature na siguro yung inyong DNA. 95, they should be fine. Prolonged 95, they should be fine. Pero kung you go way above 95, in that case, ibang bonds na yung iyong masisira. No? Yung sa sugar phosphate backbone. Meron tayong pangalan for that bond. I'll mention that in a bit. Okay? So, PCR is a routine job when you do molecular biology type of work, cloning, just typical expression check for qPCR, same concept naman. Or just the normal PCR. Class, meron akong tanong. If I tell you to do a PCR of a gene, ano yung nasa isip nyo? What is it for? What's the purpose? Amplification. Huh? Photocopy, amplification. Okay. Okay. So yung common talaga na lumalabas na word is amplification, which is correct kasi nga amplification talaga ang PCR. Can we use the word isolation of DNA for PCR? How about the word isolation? DNA isolation. What do you guys think? So pagpasok ko sa lab, o ginagawa mo, nag-isolate akong DNA. Anong gamit mo? PCR. Is that possible? So, specific, no. So far, tatlo pa lang. What do you guys think? Shall we doing experiments sa lab? Yeah, 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 yeah. May background talaga. Yeah, 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 yeah. I feel like no. We isolate beforehand. So karamihan talaga ng sagot niyo is no. Siguro since yung primary abuse could be specific. Yes, Mariela. So ang correct is yes, we can use the word isolate DNA. Bakit? You have a sample of a cell of your tissue. Let's say fish, right? So gagawin yun sa lab. Fish nyo. And then you have for every cell, multicellular, for every cell, they have their own DNA, right? DNA, genome sa lahat. Pareho lang naman sequences lang in lahat. So, for example, sa isang cell, you have this string of DNA and you have the primary na na-mention ni Mariela. Itong part na to, this is for isolation of a specific gene. So, when you do PCR, rounds of cycles and cycles of amplification, ito lang naman yung ma-amplify mo. And that being said, you're actually isolating that DNA and amplifying it, right? So, meaning when you amplify a gene, you're actually isolating it from the pool of DNA. Okay ba? So, ibig sabihin, actually, class, yun yung ginagawa natin sa cloning. We isolate this DNA kasi meron tayong primer specific for this, and then we put that in a plasmid. So itong part na to, ma-isolate mo yun, ilalagay mo yan sa plasmid. Diyan. So magiging part na siya ng plasmid. And then now, you will use the plasmid to be amplified inside the DNA. So dadami na yung DNA. Kaya class, when we do gene modification, we have to amplify that specific DNA first, and then we put it back kung ano yung target organism. Naalala ko po na similar siya sa aim namin for colony PCR. Yes, the colony PCR thing is the same thing. You need in the pool of DNA that you have inside the cell, you have your specific primer. Yun lang naman at yun lang yung i-amplify mo many times over. So you're amplifying it at the same time, you're isolating it. Yung pool of DNA na nandoon originally, magmumukha na lang silang background. And hindi na sila na pinapansin. Diba? Kasi nag-amplify ka lang ng the same sequence all over 30 times, 30 cycles. So, marami yung target na yan. Maraming, pag ito na-amplify, so ito na-amplify ulit, so ito na-amplify ulit, marami, sanga-sanga. Kaya marami kang magiging product sa PCR. So you can actually identify. Kasi meron ding, you want to do PCRs, that's just to check for the presence of that gene. Usually, ginagamit sa DNA barcoding. No? Nandito ba yung gene na to, present or not? PCR ka, wala. Nandito ba yung gene? Yun, absence or meron ding gene na ina-isolate mo para uh, pag-aralan, no? Yung DNA for cloning purposes. Okay. Mamaya may follow-up question ako dyan sa inyo. Dito ko itatanong. Alright. Now, it was really interesting. Okay tayo ha. It was really interesting back then because how did they come up with the idea now it's the DNA and not really the protein? Kasi again, favored nga ang protein, no? And we have this tetranuclear hypothesis and then being corrected. No, it's not the same or not equal proportion. So, when they had that conversation, genetic material was the first, the DNA is the genetic material. It was Oswald Avery, Colin MacLeod, and MacLean McCarthy's publication back in 1944 on the chemical nature of a transforming principle, quote unquote, in bacteria. And it was initial event that led to the acceptance of DNA as genetic material. So, paano ba nila ginawa yan? So, meron tayong sequential experiments. We'll start with the materials that we're going to use in the experiment, that they use in the experiment. So, they have this Diplococcus pneumoniae, or now called as Streptococcus pneumoniae. used by Frederick Griffith in his original transformation experiment. I say transformation meaning you change the characteristic of your organism either through the kanilang phenotype or its ability to do or perform something. And even if you just simply alter the genetic makeup by inserting a DNA or removing a DNA, pwede natin tawagin transformation na rin yun. Okay, so they have two serotypes, basically two types. 2R, 2S means R means rough, and it should be, it doesn't have a capsule. And ito yung bacteria mo, may capsule, right? So kung walang capsule daw, non-virulent siya. Okay? This one's smooth, it contains capsule and virulent siya. Pag bacteria, usually when the bacteria has a capsule, that part of the bacteria has a characteristic na nagkukos ng virulence. Okay, so meron kang ganyang type of bacteria. So we'll start with 3S cells in liquid medium, meaning they have a culture. These are virulent cells, alive cells, right? Pinatubo mo, knowing that these cells are virulent. Centrifuge, of course, the heavy cells goes to the bottom, and then